What is up, everybody? It's time for the recap of Money in the Bank pay-per-view from Toronto, Canada at the Scotia Arena. Let's get into all the matches, see what my takes are, leave your comments down below for your takes, and let's get into it.
Yeah, it's our time to shine. Show that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new clock and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, thinking that I'm too pop. Getting caught with a few thoughts cause I'm too lost. Let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up.
First off, the opening match, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, all going for it. All in all, it was an above average men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We'd seen better, a couple good high spots. Your favorites going in were Jey and Drew McIntyre. I picked Jey on our prediction, so did everybody else, but it ended up being Drew McIntyre coming away, being Mr. Money in the Bank. All in all, I think they kind of missed the mark on this. I think it should have been Jey Uso, because with what they did with Drew, which we'll get into later on, just didn't make sense. They could have done the same thing without it, by having what happened later on in the night happen in this match. And outside of one little thing I'll talk about, be the only thing I can think of why they did it, where they did it, but it should have honestly been Jey. Next up for the Intercontinental title, we have Braun Breaker challenging Sami Zayn. Easily, Breaker's the favorite to go in this match. Everyone I've seen is picking Breaker, except me. I picked Sami. Everybody who's complaining that what happened because this was a good match, which Sami Zayn goes over. They weren't going to take the Intercontinental title off of Sami in Canada. Think about that. They might not have these guys win the titles in their home country, but they're not going to have them lose titles in their home country. It was the right call. Braun's going to go crazy. This is going to have a rematch at SummerSlam. That's where I feel Braun's going to pick up his win and get the Intercontinental title. It was the right call. That's what needed to happen. Next up, we have a segment with the host of Money in the Bank, Trish Stratus, who has to be the worst host in pay-per-view history, because she had, one segment? And that was to introduce John Cena, who had the bigger announcement announcing that next year will be his final year in ring. He's hanging it up. He's been teasing it on podcasts forever. I'm happy for him. If that's what he wants to do, let him go ahead and do it. He's earned the right to go out on his own terms. I honestly hope it comes with one more reign as either World Heavyweight Champion or Undisputed Champion, to have him overtake Ric Flair, because as far as the Mount Rushmore of influential wrestlers, he is definitely on it. It's him, it's Hogan, it's Austin, it's Rock. Not saying it's the best, that's not saying all that, but influential, what they did for the business. Each one of those guys took it to another level. When you think wrestling, most of them, you think about these guys. Unless you're 80, and then you'll think about Ric Flair. But I love Rick. I respect Rick. Cena deserves to break that record. Now we have the World Heavyweight title match between champion Damian Priest and Seth frickin' Rollins. With the stipulation that if Seth loses, he can never challenge for the World Heavyweight title as long as Damian has it. And if Damian loses, he has to leave the Judgment Day. It's a very good match overall. Each guy's got their spots off. At one point, each guy hitting their finisher and the other one kicking out. Drew, who just won Money in the Bank, I talked about it earlier, we were going to cover this, comes out to cash in and make this a triple threat, a la the way Seth did at WrestleMania all them years ago. It really looks like Drew's about to win it. He hits the Claymore on Priest when none other than CM Punk ass comes out and ruins it. This is why I said they didn't need to put the case on Drew to do this. They could have had him come out there and cost Drew, just had him cost them the Money in the Bank match and put it on Jey. Now, the only saving grace on this is why they did this is because after the match, after Punk cost Drew the title by having Priest beat McIntyre, this now means that it cost Seth the opportunity to challenge again for the World Heavyweight title as long as Priest is there. And after the match, it showed Seth getting upset with Punk. The only reason I say they might have done this, and it might end up making sense, is now this could be the catalyst to have the turn for Seth to go after Punk and set up their WrestleMania match that is rumored to happen next year. And now we go to what many consider to be the match of the night, the women's Money in the Bank match with Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Naomi, Lyra Valkyria, Tony Stark, and Tiffany Stratton. Very, very good match here. Probably, I'll go on a limb and say the best women's Money in the Bank ladder match. A lot of high spots, table spots. Just these girls laid it all out on the line. I loved it. It was very much awesome. It was very much being hinted that it might be Chelsea Green. She was really hot with the Canadian crowd, her being from Canada. There were, like I said, a lot of great spots. A really nasty spot where Io does a Michinoku driver to Zoe Stark on a ladder, directly followed by a table spot with Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green, where they're both at the ladder. It looks like Chelsea's about to win. She even has her hand, the clip open, and she's pulling the briefcase out, which normally, if you ever watched the ladder match before, shows that, hey, this is the end of the match. But Tiffany goes up there on the other ladder that was right next to it, pushes her off, pushes Chelsea through 2 tables, unhooks the ladder. It's Tiffy time. We got Tiffany in the bank, just like I picked. I loved it. It was awesome. It's Tiffy time. The right spot. This girl is going to be a megastar. She's going to be up there talked about with the Trish Stratus, who was there that night, the Litas, all that stuff. She keeps her nose clean. She keeps going her direction. She is going to be one of the top stars of all time. She has the look. She has the aura. She's amazing in the ring and still getting better. Good job on this one. I totally agree. And now we have our main event, the 6-man tag of the Bloodline versus Cody and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Solid match. Yeah, maybe not the best choice for a main event, but seemingly where we all see this story going, it was the right call. This is the major story. Just because we see it coming don't mean it's not great. We all know what's going to happen, and we probably all know where it's going to happen. There might be a little twist and turn, Like I said, Solo pins Cody in this one. Obviously, that was going to happen because we're going to get Solo and Cody at SummerSlam. And I'm pretty sure Roman's going to come in and cost Solo the title if Cody just doesn't win it cleanly. But that's what's going to happen. Jacob Fatu had a star-making performance in this. He was absolutely fantastic. Showed every reason why people said for years he should have come in. Like I said, I hope it keeps going up for him. I think I could see him as a world champion level talent in this company. But like I said earlier, Solo hits a Samoan spike on Cody, gets the win. This gives legitimacy to a title match for Solo at SummerSlam. I believe that's where Roman's going to come back. He's probably going to come back and cost Solo the title, which will finally kick off the Bloodline versus Bloodline feud. So there was the right call to do this. It's in a right call to have the main event because this is the main story in WWE right now, whether you think it's gone on too long or not. And there you have it, a recap and my thoughts on Money in the Bank PLE from Toronto. Tell me, what did you think? Did you like what happened? Did you not like what happened? Remember, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get all our comments. And as far as that, what your thoughts, drop them in a comment down below. You know we love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.
Watch out, cause I'm here now and I'm staying.